Now, hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Shipwreck Studios, and it's been a long time since I've made pretty much an average Shipwreck Studios video. Now, I'm going to be talking about the craziest stories from my school. If you guys like it, I'll do another one. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first story is of a kid who I'm going to be naming Anthony. This is in no way, shape, or form his real name. Now, Anthony was a bit of a weird dude. He would be the equivalent of a male horse girl and could not take criticism. This will come in play in just a moment. Okay, so last school year, for a class we were supposed to do, we were supposed to come up with inventions. I did Hyperloops, but Anthony did boats that were powered by salt water. And these boats were really low-lying in the water and had really shallow hulls, and so I immediately saw a problem with this. If a ship takes on water, or in simple terms, starts flooding, the water will not increase the weight, but decrease the buoyancy. And with a low-lying hull, it is very easy to decrease the buoyancy. Now, this kid made a system which would be really heavy, which made it even more low-lying to intake water to somehow power the ship. So now, this kid finished presenting, and I pointed out multiple problems, like water will make your ship lower in the water, so if you intake water, you'll start sinking. And this kid started yelling at me, like crying. Now, I was telling him something that if you were told to me, I would be like, oh shoot, thanks for telling me that. That's a very serious flaw. And so, it's really out of pocket that this kid started screaming at me. And now, he's causing a scene in the middle of class. And that's basically all what happened of story 1. Now, story 2 was a little more interesting, but it still involves Anthony. Don't get me wrong, it still does. He did something very bad in this one. So what happened was that this kid had seen a spider, and I believe he had seen the spider near one of the girls. And what he did was, instead of going, hey, I see a spider there, like a normal person, he went up and punched one of the girls in my class. Now, my school has a zero tolerance policy for fighting, but this kid straight up punched one of the girls in my class for no apparent reason. And he was sent to the principal's office, you know, because he hit one of the girls. Now, how you know you're really in trouble in my school is if you are going to the back office of the principal's office. And when we leave gym class, that is exactly what's happening to Anthony. Now, about 45 minutes later, Anthony comes back into class and he's crying. And he is a bit of a squeaker and says, oh, I'm so done with this school. And the best part is when we go to recess, this kid gets in a fight with one of the teachers. I'm serious, a fight with one of the teachers. So now next we all go to lunch, and in the middle of lunch, the principal and the school counselor pull Anthony out. And Anthony is crying during this. But now it gets even better, because Anthony now starts screaming at the school counselor as we're all leaving the lunchroom. And he's screaming stuff like, oh, I've had enough disrespect for the day, stuff like that. And he is bawling during this. And you can't say stuff like that to the school counselor. So now, at the end of the day, Anthony gets a detention. Okay, so the third story is now the last story that involves Anthony. Okay, so this story is short, but for some background, in language arts, we were reading a book called King Arthur. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's really unheard of. That was sarcasm. And we were supposed to do a project where we would build a medieval castle. And mine turned out pretty nice, I'll be honest. And the thing was that Anthony made a really nice castle. I'm not gonna lie, he made a really nice castle, but it really looked like his mom helped him with that. And so the day comes that we would bring it home, and our social studies teacher, which is coincidentally our homeroom teacher, says that, oh, you guys can destroy it right here, and then I throw mine out. But this kid Anthony gets a little worse, because he destroys it. He gets into a full-blown fight with it. And so everyone watched as he loses a fight to a cardboard box. And so he gets into a fight with an inanimate object, and he quickly goes onto the floor with the cardboard box on top of him, and he is struggling. And this was during dismissal, and it happened for a good 30 seconds, so everyone who was left in the class, including me, watched as he fell to the ground and lost a fight to a flat piece of cardboard. Now, this news spread around the school like wildfire. Okay, now it's time to talk about stories that don't involve Anthony. Okay, so this next story was actually quite recent. Okay, so what happened was, a couple months ago, there was this kid named Terry. This is in no way, shape, or form his real name. Now, Terry, he was a bit of a jerk in the beginning of the year, let's be real here. He would always start fights with me, and he was genuinely an unpleasant person to be around in the beginning of the year. But this story happened in my least favorite class, art. And it was my least favorite class because, to be real, we had such a mean teacher. Now, what happened was that during art class, Terry had thrown an eraser at me. From point blank range, since we were sitting across from each other. He threw an eraser at me while kids were presenting their art projects. Now, of course, I wasn't taking that, so I threw an eraser back, and that's where it escalated. Now, he cut up the erasers and then threw them at me so that there would be more ammunition thrown at me. And then it completely reached the boiling point when I pretty much declared war on him, and there was an entire war in the class for a couple days. Now, during that time at home, I mass-produced paper balls so I can throw them at him. And the following Monday, the war ended before I even got to use my new technologies. I called them Hornets, which were basically sticky notes that were folded, and then you'd put them in rubber bands and shoot them at people. And they'd sting when they hit you. That's why they were called Hornets. And that's basically all that happened, apart from me making a literal cannon for the paper balls, which I thought was really cool. And yeah, that's basically all there was to the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Now, I just want to give a huge thank you for everyone who supported me over the last few months. 176,000 views, you guys are insane, thank you. If you guys like this video, I will definitely make a part 2 to this. You can count on that. And yeah, thank you all, and have a great day, or night, depending on where you are in the world. Bye.